and the bleak midwinter.
So today's vlog is going to be a little bit different. I'm not really doing anything art related, and instead I'm actually going to talk about how I'm going to become a filmmaker. I talked a little bit about it before, but today I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. Meanwhile, I'm also skating around town looking for the elote guy. It's this guy that pushes around a cart full of corn, and he puts a bunch of stuff on top of it, like chili and mayonnaise and cheese. It's fucking delicious. But that's basically So two of the most important things that I need to be focusing on right now is basically exposure and skill level. Exposure because people need to know basically that I'm making stuff with video. As far as skill level goes, there's still a lot for me to learn. Because I'm still so new to filmmaking, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm relying on a bunch of different resources and methods to become more knowledgeable. So while I was editing the vlog, I realized I did a horrible ass job of explaining how I planned on becoming a filmmaker. I didn't really explain anything really well, and I didn't really even provide much information, so I wanted to come out here and try again. As far as exposure goes, there's going to be two main things that I'm going to do. The first thing is basically I'm going to be super active on Instagram. I'm going to like stuff, comment, check stuff out, post good content, basically just be super active on Instagram, and through that I hope passively that people will be interested in what I post, check out my profile, and eventually check out my vlog and subscribe. The second thing that I'm going to do to help increase my exposure is basically cold calling people, just contacting them, saying what's up, and getting them somehow, some way to check out my vlog. One thing though that I don't want to do anymore, or I want to try to refrain from doing, is just basically sending out mass emails and mass DMs saying like, hey, check out my vlog, hey, check this out. Instead, I want to just email people and say, hey, this is what I have, and if there's anything that I can do for you, please let me know. Even though those two deliveries are trying to get the same thing accomplished, it's more about intent. Of course, I want people to check out my shit, but people don't want to check out your shit and help you out if you can't do anything for them, most people. So I think it's a really good idea that if I want someone to check out my shit, that I offer to do something for them. And it's not like I'm going to offer them and then fucking pull out last minute, but I'm going to offer them, help them. And that's basically how I plan on building exposure for myself as a filmmaker. The second and most obvious thing that I think that I need to work on as a filmmaker is my skill level. Even though I feel like I have a little bit of talent, it doesn't mean that I can rely on that alone to get me places. I basically need to build on that, build a solid foundation. Eventually one day I'll be able to create a piece of work based on everything that I learned. And right now, to do that, I'm using different resources on YouTube. There are a couple of different channels on YouTube that break down movies and talk about the way they're shot, how they're directed, what's unique about the movie, and basically using YouTube as a source for education. Of course, in addition to watching YouTube videos, I'm also watching real movies as well. I'm working through Wes Anderson's and Wong Kar-wai's work right now, but after that, I'm just going to continue to watch as many movies as I can. And I'm hoping by watching all these movies, I'll lay a solid foundation from which I can actually build upon when I actually start making my own movies, which is the next thing I want to talk about, making movies. That's basically where all this is leading to. All this exposure and skill level improving, all of it is to basically try to feed myself one day with videography. I really don't want to work for a place that feels like I have to sacrifice a part of myself to put food on the table, and basically that's what this is. This is basically the start of hopefully my career as a filmmaker. This is basically 6 months in, my thoughts, my ideas, and how I plan on becoming a filmmaker and how I believe things should be executed. I don't know if I'm fucking doing the right thing or not, but you just gotta try and fail until you get somewhere. And those are my plans for the near future. I'm going to continue making the vlogs, work on my skill levels as a filmmaker, and try to continue to build exposure for myself. And by doing so, I hope to pretty soon make a video for somebody for a little bit of money, 20 bucks, 10 bucks, doesn't matter. And eventually one day I hope to build a reputation for myself and basically allow people to trust me enough to be able to ask for more money. And from there, I don't know what the fuck. I have future plans that I don't want to talk about right now. Right now, instead of planning excessively for the future, I want to focus on what I can do today and tomorrow to actually move that needle closer to becoming a filmmaker.
An aircraft in trouble began. Shit. Mark, flew over the Havens just a few moments ago.